another food. Okay, so a list can be duplicated. A value in a list can be duplicated. It doesn't care. So far you can put as many as you want. Okay, so having duplicated data is not an error in a list. Now, how do we know the length of our list? Okay, so let's say we want to get the length of our list. So let me comment this out and create a new list that contains integer. So I'll call that list a value. So I'll say value, and then I'll say equal to. So here I'll do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me say 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have a list that contains 1 to 5. Now, for me to get the length of this value, what do I need? I need to use the len method. So for that, I will use v as just a variable. Okay, or let me call it for clarity's sake. So I'll do length method underscore method. Then I'll do equal to. Then I'll now say length. Okay, then I'm now passing our variable which is value there. And then when I print len method, I should be able to see. Okay. Alright, so when I run this, we are having 5. Why? Because we have 5 values here. Okay, so we can know how many values we have in a list by using the len method. Okay. Now, how about if we want to know the data type we are dealing with? Okay, so if we want to know the data type we are dealing with, we have to use the type method. So here we can say print. Okay, we can use the print method to say print, and then we pass in type. Okay, we can pass in type, and then pass inside the type. We now pass in our variable. So in this case, len method. So when we run our code now, so it's telling us it is a class integer. Why? Because the value we are having in our print is what we run our code now. So it's telling us it is a class integer. Why? Because the value we are having in our print is what we run our code now. So it's telling us that it is a class integer. Why? Because the value we are having in our print is what we run our code now. So it's telling us that it is a class value is, we need to pass in the value variable for us to see the list. Okay, so as you can see, you can see there you are seeing variable value, and then the list is type int. Alright, so that is that about when we want to get the type of data we are dealing with. Alright, now how about when we want to check for we want to convert a tuple to a list? How do we do it? So a tuple can be converted to a list. A tuple is another data structure. I will discuss it in previous subsequent videos. Okay, alright, so a tuple is also another data structure that you can use to store data. Okay, but we can convert a tuple to a list. So how do we do that? Alright, so we can call I can have a tuple here, and also another data structure that you can use to store data or item. But we can convert a tuple then I say, so how do we do that? Alright, so this is how we declare. I can have a tuple there and pass another data structure value passing store data or item. But we can convert a tuple then I say, so how do we do that? Alright, this is how we declare. I can have a tuple there and pass another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so let's just have 9 values here. Okay, so inside these 9 values are all tuple. Okay, and because they are tuple, I will need to convert them to a list. So how do I do that? I can only do that by using the list constructor. So the list constructor is a built-in function that allows us to create a new list by converting a tuple, a string, or a range of numbers to a list. So how do we do that? So we can say, let me say this list. Okay, let me have a variable that says this list equal to. So by creating this new list, I will now be able to call the list constructor. So this is how to create a list constructor. So this is a list constructor. So the list constructor takes an argument, and the argument is going to take is a variable that is holding what you want to convert. So in this case, it is our tuple item. So I will say tuple item. So when I print this list, so when I print, let's say print this list. Okay, when I print this list, so you can see that it's already converting it to a list here. But let me print the print tuple so that you see what comes out. So if I say tuple item, okay, So if I run it, okay, so you can see it's returning a tuple and a list here. So this is how to convert a tuple to a list. Now we can also convert a string to a list. How do we do that? So we can have something like this. We can have, let's say, what do I call it? Okay, let me just call food. So I'll say food variable equal to rice. Yes, we eat rice a lot. So let's convert our rice to a list data type. Okay, so how do we do that? So we can now say this food equal to, so I now call the list constructor, and then I'll now pass in our food variable, and then when I print this food, we can now see that we have successfully converted this food. Okay, so when I run the code, you can see that we have successfully passing our value passing string value or item 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 or item